Okie dokie. Right then, welcome to the spawn mechanics training for the Dig Leadership program. So this is the first program we've done, and this is the first training of it, so it may be a little crusty around edges, but this is the first one we'll ever do anyway. So, spawn mechanics. First of all, question. Who understands or believes they understand the spawn system in its entirety?
It's broken.
Anyone
Right
That
else?
is
on
my
the
understanding.
spot, my dude.
Anyone else?
I understand most of it, yeah.
Okay, who thinks it's absolute fucking voodoo magic and don't understand it whatsoever and it's completely random?
Well, it's kind of weird, if you ask me.
Anyone?
Yeah, I'll just go on that side as well.
Alright. Okay, so there's a few tenets to the spawn system that are essentially always correct, and there's a few things that are conditionally correct as in available. So, first of all, squad beacons. They are the most important tool you will ever have as a squad leader or a platoon leader. They are the number one method of getting people where you need them and where you want them to go. And there's a number of ways to manage it, a number of ways to ensure that people don't place them in the wrong place, or just control the beacon usage basically. So we'll go over that in due time. So first of all, I'm going to go over the spawns that are always available in every scenario. So first of all, as I mentioned, squad beacons, which are available anywhere on the continent. It could be right here at the warp gate, or it could be in Salva Data Lab, Biolab, for example. They are continent-wide available. I believe it's instant or 10-second time. So like when you redeploy and then you have to wait a little bit normally. I believe squad beacons have a real small delay or instant. Whereas other things have different timers, and I'll go through those in a minute. Next one is Elysium spawn tubes. So those that don't know what those are, they are the construction base spawn tubes. So you can build one at a base, and you physically have to go up to it and press E or whatever your activation key is, and you are bound to that button, and it'll say in the chat menu saying you have been bound to this this spawn tube. So that's available as well, continent-wide, as long as your base has Cortium, which usually you do. And the next one is a Bastion spawn. So obviously they're all applicable when Dig pulls a Bastion, and not other outfits, but just ours. So that's available continent-wide and is instant, I believe. The next one, in terms of more towards like day-to-day combat stuff, you're always able to spawn at the base you're at unless it is a base with an SCU and that SCU has been destroyed. You would have to go and repair the SCU in order to re-enable spawning, but otherwise, generally speaking, you can spawn there at the hex you're in. So that is controlled by the hex individually. Actually, I'll stream. So if you look on my stream, that's if you were to be in the hex I'm looking at with the mouse. Just wait for a few people to join it. So you can always tell which hex it is I'm looking at because of the white outline. So if you were literally there, the game generally would put you at Valley Storage Yard. If you literally walked a few meters to the west, that would go to Old Araxian Mines and would spawn you there instead. Now, a sneaky tactic is to place a base, a construction base, in an area in the hex that you want to defend. So, for example, if I wanted to defend Crossroads Watchtower and always make sure that I have to spawn there, I could place a base in the hills or in the canyon somewhere if I can. Therefore, we always have that, as I said, Elysium spawn tube, which you can always spawn at. So, therefore, you can, even if the pop is wrong at the Crossroads Watchtower, you can instantly redeploy to that spawn tube and gain access to the hex. It's a very powerful tactic which I don't think is used nearly enough. And all that requires is a base, a silo, and Elysium spawn tube. That's it. Right, next one. So Sunderers that are at the current base are always available. So there's a condition with this though. The closest Sunderer to you has the shortest time, but then sometimes, and this is a bit sudden sometimes, sometimes the other Sunderers have different timers as well based on distance. So I believe, if I'm right, the nearest one has a shorter time and the rest have a longer time period. There doesn't also appear to be a bias towards squad-owned or platoon-owned Sunderers. It's just literally distance as far as we can tell. And the last one, and last but not least, is Warpgate, which is an instant spawn. That is always available. And you'll never not have a Warpgate to spawn at. So, what we're going to do now is demonstrate how squad deployable vehicles work. So, let's have each squad have a gal out. I see gal. Is it Alpha's already got one? Looks like Alpha's gal. Let's make sure both squads have one, please.
I'll pull one for Bravo.
Alright, thanks, Preston. I was glitched inside of Neo's gal. Like, literally inside it.
Sec.
Damn.
What's up?
So, a little trick that people might not know. So, Neo, can you take off, please? And can you kick out your Quafanor guy, whoever that is? Is Quafanor on Discord?
I think Ren and Diglets are joining.
Oh.
I'm not sure though, because he is staying with the squad.
Right, can we lock the squads, please? Yeah, if your name doesn't match in Discord, you should all have your name matching now. And the rest I recognise. That's cool. And Canucks.
Guys, don't do this yet. Don't
Yeah, I'm here.
Galaxy.
Alright, so can everybody redeploy into the squad galaxy, please?
Yeah,
if you've
fine.
never done that before, I'm sure you've all done that. That is available in anywhere on the continent which is in friendly territory. So if we were to go to Valley Storage Yard, so gals, if you could just hover over that for a minute. In fact, guys, I want to demonstrate this. Everybody that's in the gal, redeploy to Warpgate, and then redeploy again, and then so redeploy back out of the gal into the Warpgate, and then just go into dead mode. Don't go into your gal again. And once you're at Warpgate, if you redeploy again, you should be able to see an option for your squad gals, even though they're not anywhere close to you. If you want to go to like Old Stockpile, for example, gals. Actually, no, Feldspar. Feldspar's not a frontline base, and it's not contested. So therefore, the squads should always be available. The squad spawn should be available on the gal. If it is, spawn to it. And that demonstrates the conditional availability of a squad spawn here. So they are the following, as far as I'm aware. The vehicle is in uncontested territory. That means no active timers or points have been flipped on the base. Or the vehicle is in a 1 kilometre straight line distance of you, be it on a contested base or not, doesn't really matter. The vehicle must have a space for you to be in, and the vehicle can be any vehicle actually if they have a logistics implant, so it could be a Flash if the driver has a logistics implant equipped. So if you plan to do tanking or like general armour play, if you can get a logistics implant, highly recommend it. Okay, any questions thus far about how the spawn mechanics and how they work?
Seems fine.
Does that all make sense, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
As I said, guys, if you ever got any questions, just let me know straight away. I don't want everyone falling asleep. I don't want everyone being involved in all that. Okay. So.
Sorry, next one. Valkyrie has the same spawn rules as Galaxy? Or do they differ?
Oh, I didn't get a word of that. Say that again.
Valkyrie. It's the same spawn rules as Galaxy?
I think he's asking something about the Walkers having the same idea, like deal as the Galaxies.
Yes, they act as an AMS squad spawn, same as Galaxies and Sundras. Some vehicles don't have that ability, so that'd be BTs and harassers and ants and all that. They need a logistics implant for that to work. Okay, so I'd like you all to redeploy an exception to the SLs. SLs, can you plonk yourself on Rashnu Biola, please? I want everyone to back to the warp gate, except the SLs.
Do you want the Galaxy there or just the SLs?
SLs, just get your butts to Rashnu by any means.
Oh, any by that.
No, right now. I will be welcoming you, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not a SL, so.
Actually,
If you're struggling to get a Maelstrom join combat, works for there.
does it? That's what
It does.
That's what I wanted to demonstrate, actually.
Say this is perfect spawn mechanics.
So, yes, if you press I, you'll now have an option to go to Rashnu. If you just cancel it, because I don't need to go there just yet. That is how instant action works. Generally speaking, it's a bit voodoo magic. I noted in my notes here that generally it tries to favour balanced fights, but as you can see on Rashnu, it is not balanced.
I feel like it just goes for the fight with the biggest friendly.
Yeah,
fight,
yeah,
no
that's
matter
my
I
what.
think
experience
that's
as
what
well.
it is. I think that's what it
I
is.
or J?
It's usually I, but it might be rebound to J. Now then, if you're at the warp gate now, you should have the insert button available. Press insert, please, and you should all suddenly pop in Rashnu Bio.
Pop, pop, pop.
Good evening, everybody.
Hello. So, everyone should now have been yeeted towards Rashnu
Oh yeah,
Bio.
there's so many Bravo people falling out that
Maelstrom.
room.
Yep.
I think they all spawned in my galaxy.
That is...
Yep.
Yep.
it depends on the nearest spawn. Is it going to SK's Gal? Strange. Yeah, it's a bit strange, that mechanic. Generally what it tries to do is it's a squad leader spawn. So wherever your squad leader is, the game tries to put you near them. It's a bit hit and miss, as you've seen, but if you're struggling to get there, try that, and or ask a squad to try it and see if they can get there, but don't depend on it. Yeah, it's very rarely depended upon. Okay, right. I'm going to show you guys now the beacon bypass method. So, normally speaking, you should... the way that the spawn mechanics are meant to work is that you should not be able to spawn at Rashnu. You should also not be able to spawn at NS Material. So, SLs, can you grab a vehicle of some description and head over to Crimson Bluff. I'm going to show you how to get to a base that's not possible to get at via the normal spawn mechanic. So the idea here, guys, is that the SL grabs a scythe or some description, a vehicle, and gets the butt over to where you want to go. So this is the beacon bypass, which basically means it bypasses all the mechanics. This is why beacons are extremely critical. So I'm going to demonstrate this on the recording and the stream.
Your FPS on Discord is horrendous.
It is, yeah, probably just Discord.
It's probably because I'm doing 2 streams at once.
Yeah, probably.
The YouTube stream's very smooth.
Good. So, in a hypothetical scenario, I've ordered Crimson Bluff to be pre-capped. So what that means is we get on point before the previous base completes. So I would issue the order, right, everyone please redeploy. SL's pop beacons at Crimson Bluff. And now everyone should be able to spawn at Crimson Bluff in Alpha.
And Bravo beacon is up.
Okay, there you go. So everyone in Alpha and Bravo, Crimson Bluff, please. So as you saw, you did not have the ability to spawn at Crimson Bluff until now. This is extremely powerful, as it enables us to get behind enemy lines relatively quickly, actually. Redeploy the entire platoon on point, ready and waiting to go. And there we are. So most of you should be here now.
Jesus Christ, I got harassed from B point. What is this game sometimes?
Right, there you go. So that is the beacon bypass. So to just read off my notes, tell you this is as a PL context. Tell your SLs to redeploy. Have them attempt to get to the base in particular. They may have to wait about 20 seconds or so to either get to the base that they want, which is a friendly base and they spawn at, for example, in a defensive situation, or they may have to do it the hard way and get a vehicle out and physically go there, which is what we did here. Obviously, they pop the beacon. You order the rest of your platoon to redeploy and get on those squad beacons. You can, as an SL, and I'll show you this in stream because it's a bit hard to describe. So notice here how there is 3 fire teams. Let's make a 4th fire team. Why not? So in my squad, as PL, I could do this in other squads as well, but as SL only in Alpha Squad, for example, you can see this sort of spawn beacon icon, right? Currently, they're all green. What this denotes is the availability of a spawn beacon for that fire team. So I'm going to drag a few people around. One sec. Balance it out a little bit. So the way I've set it now is that only Alphas 1, 2, and 12 can pull a beacon. The rest of you should be able to do it. So Llamas, can you check if you're able to pop your beacon?
Yeah, I can't.
You can't? Okay, yeah. Now, I've not tested this actually.
I can't even equip it.
Yeah,
It's not even equipable. Couldn't even hold it.
So is it in your UI, but it's not equipable? Is that right?
Yeah, it's in the UI and it's not equipable. So I press 4, but it doesn't switch from my launcher.
Okay, so Llamas, you should now be able to equip it. Yeah, there you go. So it does work. There you are. So
Same thing for Bravo. None of you should be able to place other beacons at the moment.
Yeah, we saw. Bitch.
yeah. So if you're in a scenario where this is useful, you have placed a beacon that you don't want anyone to override, and being in open squads, it happens all the fucking time. Especially when the PL says beacons, 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 and everyone starts placing a fucking beacon. Every single one here. So if you're SLs, I highly recommend you control the availability of spawn beacons in that manner. I just want a question actually.
Hey Maelstrom,
Who-
if you can wait 3 minutes, I'm going to make Crimson Bluff available to you.
No, it's not part of the train.
Mill, do you want to talk about?
Hold on, I'm not finished on that point. 1 second. So, who did not know about that little feature in the game? The ability to restrict beacons.
Me.
I did not know.
Yeah, it's seldom used and it's very useful. So, I highly recommend you use it. Okay, what was that question, sorry?
Do you want to talk about moving squad members around so they get different spawn beacons?
I don't know about that one. What's that?
Oh, you're talking about where you move people to a different squad to put down a beacon for them. If they're like in Alpha, you only have an Alpha beacon on base, you move them to Bravo to put down a Bravo beacon.
Yes.
Yeah, that's completely right. Yeah. So, for example, here then, as PL, I'm going to move Gress into Alpha. So Gress in can now deploy a beacon for Alpha.
Will do.
So if you redeploy Alpha, so I'll give the order, okay, Alpha Squad, I want you to shift over to the new Alpha Squad waypoint, the new beacon, sorry. Please redeploy. And Mr. Corino, can you do the same for Bravo? Can you place a beacon for Bravo? Bravo, can you redeploy as well?
Oh.
Okay. So if everybody listened, you should have all have swapped. There you go. So just like that, in the space of roughly 30 seconds, Alpha and Bravo have shifted gears and are in completely different positions. That's the power of beacons, guys. Do not underestimate your beacon placements. They are extremely useful. Okay, Right. I am going to show you Steel Rain, but it's going to take 15 minutes to do that, so I'll leave that till last. Okay. Right. I want to show you guys, and this is a perfect example of this, I want to show you the most efficient way of getting your squads together on objective and distributed in the correct manner. So, this is a platoon full redeploy. The technical name, there isn't really one, but what this is essentially you redeploy to Warpgate as SLs, so the PL would order a, for example, SLs please redeploy to Warpgate and pull galaxies for your squad. What that will mean is, only SLs redeploy, they get out and get the gals out, while everybody else is still mopping up or fighting or whatever on point. So, Svenata, can you do that with me as well?
Already on it.
Okay, so the PL would now say, okay, everyone else redeploy please. And what this now enables is, if you just go to platoon waypoint, what this now enables is the whole platoon is in gals, by squad, individual squads, because obviously you can't spawn into another squad's gal. This therefore means the PL can distribute their forces extremely efficiently, literally by squad. So this allows, for example, Alpha's going to drop Turret's Tech, Bravo's going to drop Turret's Depot. And in the space of, again, about 20-30 seconds, literally redeploy time, your squads are together, cohesion is now much higher, and the PL has much higher organisation in its entire platoon.
Identified an enemy liberator.
Okay, Alpha squad, 3, 2, 1, drop. So, standard procedure, as soon as you land, beacon out, for SL normally, unless SL asks for a secondary beacon of some description. And there you go. Both squads have dropped, they're on target. And they are capping bases. See how much more efficient that is? Like, everyone is exactly where they need to be now. Everyone's together. And it was done in a matter of about a minute and a half maybe. So, always use that, guys. If, and this is a good opportunity as well in general leadership, if people are lagging behind and have not done that, and they've had more than enough opportunity to redeploy and join their squad, by now it is now an opportunity as a PL to kick them out of the squad, or even an SL kick them out of the squad as well. So yeah, any questions about how to do that? Does that make sense? It's simple, it's quick, and it's clear and concise if you communicate it right. So I'll just go over the call again. So that would be PL saying to SLs either in Discord or in game saying, SLs, can you go to Warpgate, pull a gal out, please, from Warpgate? And then tell them where to go, obviously. As they're doing that, get everyone else to redeploy into them, because it'll be a squad available, a squad spawn available, sorry. They should all be able to see, because they're in friendly territory, they're in friendly hexes, unless literally the Warpgate is cut off, which is very unlikely. Chances are, as the gals are going to your destination, you can spawn in them. Now, as a gal pilot, remember, you must be in friendly territory, uncontested friendly territory, for it to work. So if some of your squad is lagging behind a bit, or the SL's struggling to get them in, just stop just short of the hex. So for example, if I was Alpha Gal, I would have stopped there, just in case turrets was going to start ticking, just to make sure the stragglers get in, and then go in there and do your job.
Quick question about Galaxy Spawn, sorry.
Yeah.
So you have to be uncontested to spawn in. You said something about line of sight within a kilometre, so let's say the Galaxy then hovered over that point, and you're in the same hex as it with line of sight or within a kilometre. Can you then spawn on it in contested territory in that situation, sorry?
Yes, so if you have already spawned to it and you're in the hex, as long as you're within 1,000 meters, it doesn't matter what's happening in the base itself. So it's very easily and viable tactic, and I do this quite a lot as PL, to just sit in your gal if you want to, and just provide an extra spawn point for your squad. Generally speaking, hexes are less than 1 kilometer wide, or whatever shape they are. So 9 times out of 10 you have that option as an extra sort of spawn. You basically act as like a mobile beacon. So yes, if you fancy not shooting mans, then as a gal pilot, that's totally fine. Just as a note as well, anyone who drops out of your gal and kills anyone, it's counted as a transport assist. So if you need that, I believe Heavy has that, or some other directive has that. If you need to farm those, that's also a really nice way of doing it as well. And also chances are, if you're a gal pilot, usually the PL, it's ideal for you to stay in the galaxy to move on to the next point. 9 times out of 10, the easiest way to get people to enemy territory and guarantee they get there is galaxy. I favour them quite a lot. So for example, in this case, if I wanted to pre-cap Zervan, I would probably round about now actually not Zervan. Assuming Crimson Bluff goes through in 3 minutes and I really wanted Zervan Storage Yard, I would probably in a minute's time, after Turret Depot is finished, probably order Bravo to go, right Bravo, can you get your gal over to Zervan Storage, pre-cap that, and then they would go off and get it. But don't do that now.
Unbelievably, we've taken Depot.
Unbelievably, it's almost like a ghost cap. Oh, it wasn't a ghost cap actually. Cool. Awesome. Right. Still got 8 minutes on the Steel Rain. So the next thing I want to show you is the same concept but for Sunderers. So gal drops are not the be all and end all. They have 2 distinct disadvantages. 1, you can be intercepted, and 2, you do not necessarily have a hard spawn available after the drop. 9 times out of 10, a gal pilot will just drop with the platoon, or with squad, sorry. Which therefore means, unless you have your beacon available, you don't have a spawn available. So, I'm going to demonstrate the correct way for certain objectives to attack it. So, in this particular case, and context, Scarred Mesa. Scarred Mesa as a drop is quite tasty, but if you get kicked out of Scarred Mesa, good fucking luck getting back on it, because it's a bastard of a base to get, and there are 2 primary choke points on it, which are awful to combat if you get pushed off. So, in my opinion, the best way to attack that base is to get the Sunderers on point before the cap, which unfortunately is going to be Ghost Cap now, but is to get Sunderers on point and established before you get there. Unless you're in a rush, like right now in the alert, for example, we're not in a rush. So I would bring Sunderers out. So Bravo squad, you should have a Sunderer now available in your squad, in your redeploy screen. Alpha, I want you to redeploy now as well. Now, I think we're still within, is that 1,000 meters? Yeah, we're in 1,000 meters of Turret Tech, so that's why the squad, in Alpha Squad specifically, is able to spawn to the Sundra. Now, if they were a bit further out than that, it's dubious as whether they would have done it, which I don't think would have been possible. 1,000 meters is actually a hell of a distance, guys. It's from the Turret Tech, it's Burgess, Depot, Gravel Pass, Stronghold, I think, Scarred Mesa. It's quite a distance, so it's quite generous. It's 1,000 meters.
There's already people on the point.
Yep, so, oh shit. So, again, because you've used squad spawn, squads are together, they're moving together, Alpha's hauling ass all together, which is great. And in general, you want to use squad spawns as much as you can. Favour them all the time. Set up your platoon or your squad to enable it basically. If and a squad member, not necessarily a squad leader, a squad member, if you're thinking, okay, we're going to move next, an SL, and you could ask the SL, are we going to hit Scarred Mesa or Burgess next? Shall I pull a Sundra? And 9 times out of 10 they'll appreciate that and say yes, absolutely. So do it. Every single squad member can do this and can pull a Sundra out. It only betters the squad and it only betters the platoon. If in all doubt, pull a Valkyrie. That's a mobile spawn point. It's cheap, well, fairly cheap. It's not slow like a Sunday. You can get places and you can get people where they need to be. It's not a full galaxy. You can't get the full squad there, but 2 of them is the equivalent of a galaxy anyway. Okay, is the steel rain done? 4 minutes. Right. So let's use this extra 4 minutes for. I think I've covered everything I wanted to. I'll just read the next one, sir. Oh yeah, frontline bases. So frontline bases in this particular context right now, that would be Tarich, Recycling Depot, Gravel Pass, Zervan Network, Crimson Bluff, and NS Material. They should all have spawns available. So they will have a small delay. I'm just going to redeploy now and just double check this. They should all have a small delay of about 5-10 seconds, I think. But you should be able to spawn to each one of them. So I'm looking at the screen now. So I've got Tarich Depot, Gravel Pass, NS Material. I strangely haven't got Crimson, but I have got a Sundra spawn in Crimson Bluff. But I think that's because of the overpop at Crimson Bluff. So you should all be able to instantly redeploy to frontline bases unless they are subject to the population mechanics, as what I mentioned before, etc., etc. Again, I've wrote what I think's the population mechanics in the document. If you want to see that again, if you missed it, or if you didn't understand the first time, that's there as well. So there we go. That's the meat of stuff I want to cover. Is there any other questions?
This document, where exactly can I find it? Yeah, I don't think I have access to the.
Should be a crown icon, and you can click that.
Oh yeah.
Any other questions?
Not a question, but a suggestion. When I'm squad leading, I always take an infiltrator, fly with the Valkyrie, and when I want to go to an enemy base, I hack the vehicle terminal and spawn a Sundra.
Yeah, that's perfectly valid. It's quite an advanced tactic, actually. I wasn't going to cover that, but glad you mentioned it. Yeah, so for example, if I wanted to take Regent, I would either get a gal out and drop people and hack the terminals, as you say, so ask specifically by number, a squad person number, which they should kind of know, or name if you know it, and ask them to pull as infiltrator. Otherwise, you might get an overcommittal, and you might get 6 infiltrators, which isn't useful. So yes, absolutely hack everything. The more you deny the enemy the ability to defend and pull their own vehicles to counter you, the better. Okay, 1.5 minutes. Any other questions?
Mentioning in routers would be useful as well, I think.
Yeah, okay. So routers are quite interesting. So the spawn mechanics of those act similar to a Sundra. It's basically a Sundra in a pocket, in your pocket. How they work is you pull an ant from wherever, mine some Cortium, place a silo, and you need to unlock the routing spire. I forget what cost it is, but it's
500 certs.
500 certs. Alright, cool.
It's one of the cheapest.
How much is it in Cortium?
There's enough in the cost of the silo. Because when you place down the silo, it starts with 2,000. It's same cost. There's enough in there to put down a silo or spire or whatever.
You're never not going to have enough to build a routing spire.
Okay, so yeah, so literally you mine a small node of Cortium, plonk a base down, probably plonk a Elysium spawn tube down as well, because you'll need to spawn there to get your router. You walk up to the terminal for the routing spire. You probably need a aircraft terminal as well, so you can get to places quickly. And yeah, after that, get to your destination. PL will normally ask for one, and then place your router down, and your entire empire should be able, faction, sorry, should be able to use it.
Maelstrom. The aircraft terminal isn't a necessity because you can also call a friend to pick you up.
Well, that as well.
Yeah, or you pull like a Valkyrie.
Yeah,
Okay, I
the
did
important thing about it is that you cannot redeploy while you have it. So as soon as you equipped it from the routing spire, dying or redeploying is going to delete it from your inventory, so you'll have to get it again. That's why an aircraft terminal would be useful.
Yeah.
If you're revived, you still have it.
Okay, can I have everyone available in Alpha to redeploy to Scud Mesa and pull Maxes, please? I want to demonstrate this. Members of Bravo and Alpha, if you want, can you watch the Discord stream or the YouTube stream and watch this next bit, because it's quite fun.
One last thing about routers is, as soon as they appear, you can have an entire platoon waiting to quickly spawn on it as soon as it appears.
Yeah.
They need to be waiting
So you can
for 15 seconds.
Yes, you can do something where, say you've just finished on a certain base, you want to go and attack another, you get someone to place down a router while everyone's in the redeploy screen for a while, and then they can all just at once deploy in the router, so you get 48 people in the same spot at one time. Cool. Just out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's bonkers. Okay, so on the stream, what I'm demonstrating now is Steel Rain. We generally don't like to use Steel Rain because of the weight of it. So it weighs 25. Oh, that's gone down. I thought it was 75. It actually weighs 25. Generally speaking, you need a lot of coordination to use it. Now, if you instantly want a max crash on a point, on a particular point, useful. Absolutely useful. Otherwise, it's a bit shit, and there's cheaper and easy means of doing it. Also, it's a little buggy, so we'll see if it works. Actually, this time it worked. Fuck's sakes, it actually worked.
I'm stuck.
Oh, you're stuck up there. Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, as well.
That's why we don't like to use it.
Quick question about the document. I clicked on suggestion for a spelling correction. It seems everyone can edit the document. So it adjusted the availability to the correct spelling.
Yeah, I made it editable for everyone.
So that might be a risk.
Oh god, we're so dead.
It should be fine as long as no one makes up an imaginary spawn room.
Well, I mean, some troll might do weird stuff. I don't know.
It's only leadership. There's like 30 of us that can change.
I'll lock
yes, but the role is open for everyone. There was no requirement for me to just click on the role.
I'll lock it later.
Imagine someone getting the leadership role. They could edit something in the document.
I mean, there's some level of trolls out there, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is the crux of the training done. Has anyone got any feedback, suggestions, top tips that I've missed?
How did you find out all these systems? They don't provide this information, right? You have to test it all, spawn systems.
6 years of playing this game. 6 years.
I mean, I've been playing it since 2012, but I haven't looked into these things. I think these were changing all the time as well, right?
There have been updates, yeah.
Yeah. Various changes to it. So obviously, like, this could totally change as well.
I remember being able to spawn everywhere without regards to population. I don't know if that was a thing, but...
Yeah, they made a change to make it 50%, or try to make it 50%.
But it's interesting too that they made these algorithms to balance it a bit.
They didn't change join combat though, in that sense, because it recommends fights where you're overpopped.
Well, it makes it at least useful. Remember, always avoiding join combat like to play, because now it's actually useful.
It definitely affects pop. It's definitely unuseful though for randoms.
Yeah.
Oh, for randoms, yeah.
Because they go to a stupid... Like today there was like a 3-way on Alton Biolab. And that was definitely join combat taking people there.
Success is all but assured.
Yeah, it's a bit hit and miss. As I said, join combat, like, as an emergency, is useful. but don't depend on it whatsoever.
It's useful checking it.
Yeah, and all you need to do is just press the button and see where it goes. So.
There's nothing about join combat in the document, right? So
it's instant action.
Yeah, instant action. Oh, instant action.
Yeah. I think that's why some people have it on I and some people have it on J.
Yeah, all the keybinds like.
Oh, they must have renamed it at some point.
They've
That
refound
makes
it.
sense now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very random. It's weird.
Because mine is still on I.
Yeah, mine's an
Oh,
I.
I'm old. Wow.
I'm very old.
If you've got, I think it's a bad client as well. If you had like a really old client, it never got rebound. But if you re-downloaded PS2, it rebounded. Oh, no.
Oh, I've re-downloaded it definitely. That's why J.
I think I changed it back to I when I downloaded it.
Yeah, I did as well. Cool. So, I hope you enjoyed that. That was the first of a few knowledge gathering sessions. I think that's us done, unless there's anyone else that wants to put anything in.
Nope, seems good.
Cool. Thank you very much, guys. I'm going to stop the stream now. Have a good evening.
Thanks.